Hi, welcome to Cooking with Dr. Coley. I'm Coley Barbie, a family medicine doctor with extra training in integrative medicine and a passion for food and cooking. And I'm here to teach you how it can be easy and delicious to make food that is healthy for you. What we're making today is a riff on a Greek salad. Now, Greek salads really commonly come with tomatoes, olives, olive oil, cucumbers. We are boosting the fiber content today by adding some lentils. Lentils are a powerhouse in terms of nutrition and food. They're great for people with diabetes to help regulate their blood sugar. There have been studies that show people who eat lentils have a lower blood sugar spike than people who don't, even hours later in the day. So these are great for anybody who has diabetes or anybody who's trying to boost the fiber in their diet for any other reason. Today we have some pre-made lentils. These are really easy to make. You can catch my video on how to make lentils. We'll link to it in the video. These were from the vegetarian chili leftovers, so check out that recipe too. But this basically is just about a half a cup of lentils that we cooked, and it ends up being closer to about a cup cooked. These have just been refrigerated overnight. They refrigerate really easily. And this salad is best served cold or room temperature. So we're first just going to dump the lentils in, and these are pre-cooked. The next step is the onion. Onions can be really harsh, and a lot of people don't like their flavor, but they're actually full of compounds that are really good for regulating your blood pressure, really good for your gut bacteria. And so one way to cut the acidity is by actually pre-soaking the onions. So that's what we'll do here. So you just want to slice your onion. We're going to use just a half of an onion today. Just peel it, and then you're just going to cut it into thin slices. Try to make them uniform, about 1/8 of an inch or so. And then these are going to go in a bowl. We're going to put just a little pinch of salt in there and cover them with cold water. So what this will do is draw out some of those acidic compounds that some people find make onions a little too strong to eat raw. So the next step here is tomatoes. And I live in the upper Midwest. It's really difficult to find delicious tomatoes outside of the summer months. So one of the ways I get around this is by using cherry or grape tomatoes. They have a lot better flavor than the bigger tomatoes out of season. So if you live in a cold weather place, this is a great way to keep the delicious tomato flavor and get all the nutrition that comes from a tomato. But the grape and cherry tomatoes have a little better flavor out of season than the bigger beefsteak or Roma tomatoes that you can get at the grocery store. So we're just going to use it's about a whole container of these little guys. So they're pre-washed, and then we're just going to cut them into smaller bite-sized pieces. And just add them to the bowl when you're done. So next up is the cucumber. Now you can leave the peel on if you want, and there's actually a lot of really good fiber in a cucumber peel. But it's winter here, and so the cucumbers are coming from pretty far away, and the skin can be kind of leathery and tough, so I am going to peel it. But if you have a garden and you have fresh cucumbers in the summer, feel free to leave the peel on because that does add a lot of fiber to the cucumber. So how we're going to cut this is we're going to cut it in half. And then there's a lot of seeds in a cucumber, and the seeds are good to eat. However, it really makes a salad watery if you leave the seeds in, and the salad otherwise is going to keep really nicely in the fridge for up to 3 days. And it's even better left over because all the flavors have had time to kind of assimilate. So we're actually just going to remove the seeds from the cucumber so that the salad doesn't get wet and so that it keeps in the fridge a little longer and a little better. And then the cucumbers we're just going to cut into long slices and then smaller bite-sized chunks, about the size that you cut the tomatoes. And we're just going to add all those to our bowl too. All right, next up is bell pepper. You can use, I have a red one, but you can use any type of bell pepper you want. Green would be great in here, a yellow bell pepper. They just have such good flavor and really good vitamin C, and they're really accessible. You can find bell peppers all year round, and they taste really good. So we're just going to take out the seed and the pith. And same thing, just cut some bite-sized pieces. So a Greek salad traditionally has parsley for an herb, so we are going to include some of that. But I love cilantro and put it in just about everything I cook. And in my opinion, the more herbs, the better. So we're going to add some of that too. So this is just about a 1/4 cup of chopped parsley. That's going to go in. Same thing with the cilantro. Just about a 1/4 cup. Most of the salad is not measuring. It's just taking what you have, throwing it in the bowl. If you have other vegetables that you really like to eat raw, they would go great in here. Celery would be really good, green beans. So you can add really anything that you have going on in your fridge. You can really add to this salad and almost certainly will go really nicely. Last major ingredient before we get to the dressing is feta cheese. Feta cheese is the star of the show. I love cheese. And feta is one of the most flavorful, delicious cheeses that you'll ever eat, in my opinion. It is a little salty, a little briny, so it adds some really nice balance to the salad. It comes in blocks like this or crumbles. If you can find the block, I think it has better moisture and better flavor, but if all you can find is crumbles, that would also work great in here. If you do have the block, you're just going to want to cut 2 or 3 small slices here. Get them sliced up and then just cut them into little bite-sized cubes. If you want to make this vegan, you can do it without the cheese, but I do think that the feta really adds something to the flavor. And that's what I'm going to go into. Okay, on to the dressing. So the dressing is just a simple vinaigrette. And we have other videos showing you how to make different types of vinaigrette. But basically, all a vinaigrette is an acid and oil. Acid is going to be red wine vinegar, and our oil is going to be olive oil. Olive oil is a great thing to use. Even if you have heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, there's omega-3s in olive oil that can really help balance your cholesterol. It's really good to include in your diet. Much better than other different types of fats. There are good fats and bad fats. Olive oil is a good fat. So it is okay to eat for almost everybody with almost any health condition. The important thing about olive oil is that you get an extra virgin olive oil and the first cold press. That's the healthiest olive oil you're going to be able to find. If you get something other than the first cold press, oftentimes that will include harmful additives and chemicals, and you're not going to get the good omega-3s that you're really looking for in an olive oil. So those are the important things: extra virgin and cold pressed. So to make our vinaigrette, I also like to use a little garlic just to add some flavor. I'm going to use about 2 cloves here. One of my other favorite kitchen gadgets is the garlic press. This is really nice because you don't even have to peel the garlic. You just have to make sure that the hard, firm end is off. You just put it in there and you just squeeze the fresh garlic right into your measuring cup and discard the peel. Makes it super easy. So you have no excuse to not use fresh garlic. We are going to add just a little bit of salt. This is probably about a 1/4 teaspoon or less, and also some black pepper. We also want honey for a little bit of sweetness. We obviously don't want to overdo the honey, but just a little bit can be really good for you. This is a local honey from some friends of ours. Local honey can be really great for helping with allergies. So I recommend getting local if you can, if it's at all possible. And that was maybe a teaspoon or so of honey. So next is the red wine vinegar. You could use an apple cider vinegar for this too, but the red wine's a little more subtle, not quite as aggressive, but still has really good flavor. You're gonna do about a 1/4 cup of that. I'm just gonna stir to incorporate the garlic and the honey. You may see a lot of ratios for how to make a correct vinaigrette. A lot of them, I think, call for more oil than I really like, mostly because I like that bite and acidity and flavor that comes from the acid, and you don't really want the oil to overpower that. So I use, you may see, a 3-to-1 or a 2-to-1 oil to acid ratio. In other places, I like closer to a 1-to-1 because I feel like you're really getting the flavor of that acid, but the nice mouthfeel and health benefits of the olive oil without it being overpowering. So I do about a 1-to-1. So it'll be about a 1/4 cup of oil, and kind of stir as you're drizzling in so the oil incorporates. I like doing this in a measuring cup because it's fewer dishes to clean. I don't like doing dishes. Another really easy way to do this is to put all the ingredients together in a mason jar, screw the top on, and just shake it. That's another way to really get it going. Okay, so last thing is we're going to drain our onions. So these have been soaking for the last 15 minutes or so. It's going to take a lot of the bite and acidity out of the onions, so they're a lot more pleasant to eat. So all you're going to do is just drain them out. Get as much water out as you can. And those are going to go on right on top. I'm going to give this vinaigrette one last little stir. And that's just going to go drizzled on over everything as well. And then we just toss everything together. So this salad is, I think, the most delicious if it's served at room temperature. If you let it sit for a little while, it's gonna let all those flavors absorb. Everything's gonna get mixed all together. Those lentils are gonna soak up the vinaigrette and have a lot more flavor. So we're just gonna toss everything here and then, let it sit out like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. If it's gonna be longer than that, you can put it in the fridge. But honestly, the longer this salad sits, the more delicious it is. And so simple and easy, just cooking the lentils and then chopping a bunch of vegetables. It's full of all kinds of things that are good for you in here. You're getting all kinds of vitamins and nutrients from the fresh veggies, fiber from the lentils, those omega-3s from the olive oil. And there's even a good amount of research about the benefits of vinegar and how that can help stabilize your blood sugar. So try this out. It's really easy. Anybody can do it. Super delicious. It makes a great side It makes a great lunch to pack to take to work, or it makes a great side for another main course, such as a grilled meat or something else. So thanks for joining me today, and I really hope you enjoy this Greek lentil salad.